And I believe we are live. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tim. Prep for it. Good to see you, Brian. Good to see you, Cheap Charlie. What's up? Good to see you, man. Glad you guys are dropping by. So we had an announcement that came in late last evening from the Prime Minister that Thailand would be fully reopened in 120 days, putting it reopening on October the 14th of 2021. And today we're going to talk about that a little bit. The reason I called this an emergency live stream is because I had, what's up, Chuck? Good to see you, man. I had no plans to do a live stream today. I was actually going to do a video. And I definitely had no plans to wake up as early as I did this morning. But I woke up to my phone ringing, and this is what you have. I'm looking at my phone now, and I'm going to read you some information, and we're going to talk about all kinds of possibilities and all the reasons why you shouldn't get excited just yet. I hate to... I'm not going to sound like Debbie Downer this morning. This is going to be a good, positive, hopefully a step in the right direction. I'm going to point out a few things. Hello, Robert. Good morning, sir. Thank you for being here. I did not get to get in touch with you yet, but I will. Biggs, what's up from New Zealand? Good to see you. And, okay, I think I've said hello to everybody. There is your Mojo. Good to see you, my friend. Let me send one message real quick. This is kind of on the spot, guys, so just bear with me for 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Frank, good evening. Good to see you. Good to see you, Brandon. Good to see you as well. And let's dive right into it. What I first want to do before I really get to the before I really get into the whole 120-day thing, I want to walk you back through a timeline. And I want to walk you back through what exactly has happened over the past 24 hours, basically. I don't think I need to go any higher than that. Yeah, all that Biggs is going to be under the new regulations according to what I've read. And I'm going to get into all that, but there's some very important information. Hey, Peter. Hey, Jose. Good to see you this morning. There's some very, very important information. I want you guys to see this timeline. We talk about how fast things change in Thailand and how quickly things can be different, how quickly the plans can change. Why I told everyone in the video earlier this week not to make plans to come here until the end of the year. I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to stand by that, and there is many reasons for that. Now there is more information coming in right now. As I speak, we will talk about that throughout the live stream. But I want to read you the initial timeline, how this got started, and if you are enjoying this content, please give it a thumbs up. First, let me read you the description of the video, and say this. And Robert has dropped the PayPal link in there, so if anybody feels like contributing, that you can do that. Entirely up to you, man. I will pin this comment. Thank you, Robert, for dropping in the PayPal link. Much appreciated. Yep, Philthos, that's correct. Chuck says, I'm honestly thinking early next year. That's probably a good, safe bet. Shaky, good evening from Massachusetts. Good to see you. Thailand has announced it will fully reopen for vaccinated foreign tourists in 120 days. This announcement came just hours after immense public criticism from the public on the constant travel regulations Thailand constantly changes. Let's see. What does this mean for Phuket, the Sandbox model? Is this for vaccinated tourists only? Will there be a quarantine? Will all businesses be allowed to reopen? We answer and discuss these very important questions in today's video. Thailand is now set to fully reopen by October 14, 2021, according to the PM. Will this actually happen? I have my doubts. However, I remain cautiously optimistic that we will see foreign tourism open to Thailand this year. And I do think we will see it this year. Tim says, Mass, I'm in New Hampshire. Always talking to somebody else. Peppy, looks that way. Looks that way. Shaky says, I honestly think I'm going in July because I'm going long term. If you're coming long term, then there's no reason not to come in July. So, no issues there. All right, let's go through this timeline and let's. I just want to show you how fast things change here. Okay. Where is my first? There's so many ads on these things now. Okay. This was from 19 hours ago. 19 hours ago. Renowned Thai doctor cautions against letting tourists avoid 14-day quarantine. Yesterday, a renowned Thai doctor told media that his colleagues strongly opposed any program designed to admit foreign tourists, even if they have been fully jabbed. Rob P says a retrospective. Yeah. And hello, Anon. I didn't see you, bud. Good to see you, man. It might be, but we can't mention his name on YouTube. Hey, Jose. Sorry, bud. No mention of that dude's name on YouTube. Definitely can't say that, Anon. Sorry, bud. Be careful for YouTube here. Tim, welcome. Good to see you, man. So this Thai doctor told me he and his colleagues strongly opposed any program to admit foreign tourists, even the vaccinated, if the tourists aren't required to do a strict 14-day quarantine. Further, Dr. Prasitz thinks that the queue should be even longer depending on the variant. The doctor and dean of Faculty of Medicine at Siraj Hospital was alluding to programs such as the Phuket Sandbox and the Pattaya Move On scheme. Both programs would allow foreign vaccinated tourists to enter Thailand without a strict queue. However, visitors would still have to follow some terms and conditions. He thinks these programs are coming too soon and the country should wait until the entire country has reached the 70% goal of inoculation. A goal it's speculated that might not be reached until next year. Barring that, he thinks Thailand should wait until much more of the country has been jabbed. He has worried that the measures and precautions already in place aren't enough. His primary concerns is the variants, notably variants that haven't been discovered yet and could cause more problems down the line. I'm not going to read any more of this because it's just news after news after news. Hey, MedTech, good to see you. Lost Boy says, hey, what's up? Bob says the rules will change 14 times between now and then. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Filtho says foreign tourism is open now, depending on how you define open. That's true. Jabs plus 2-week queue plus I'm not sure about that. Equals open, and sorry, fixated on and swab tested for some reason this week. Okay. We'll pull that one down because there's no of those swabs going on in here. Let me catch up comments real quick. Expats sure tourist trial 2023. Yeah, you guys are starting to get the idea. It's all good, hey Jose, don't worry. Let's see. Greg says the rules just changed again while you were reading that. Possibly. Anon says to rephrase, doctors should provide an input but not have the final say because they don't care about the economics or society. I agree 100%. See, this guy's saying just keep the country closed. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, I agree with that. Now, that was 20 hours ago now, okay? Now, 19 hours ago, yeah, Philthos, definitely not. The headline reads, PM says, sorry again for the delays in the vaccine rollout. Well, that's the second time he's apologized, right? Chuck says, told my girlfriend to either get the jabs or I'll send her pictures from wherever I'm vacationing, her choice and no pressure. I hear you, bud. It says the PM has again apologized for holdups in the rollout of the jab, saying there were a number of reasons for the delays. Earlier this week, 25 jab sites in Bangkok postponed inoculations. Several hospitals also delayed vaccinations over the weekend due to a limited supply. Quoting, as the Prime Minister and Director of CCSA, I am the top executive in this war against the illness. I apologize. I'm paraphrasing there. I must apologize for the problems that happened, and I take all the responsibility. The Prime Minister has also apologized last week for holdups in the national vaccine rollout. He says doses have been delivered gradually in small lots with a limited supply of jabs on hand. Inoculation sites with high demand ran low, had to postpone injections. Prayut says the production process and quality checks for vaccines are time consuming and can cause delays for deliveries, adding that other countries have similar issues. Priority has also been given to areas with active outbreaks and to those who are at high risk of infection, which has led to postponements for jab appointments for some who had registered but are not in a priority group. While the CCSA announced there is a shortage of jabs with no deliveries this week, officials say they are still on track to meet this month's target of 6 million doses. The Thai government plans to inoculate 50 million people by the end of the year, reaching herd immunity. Prayut says the government plans to acquire more jabs to cover 80% to 90% of the population in 2022. Now, that was 19 hours ago, okay? About the same time the doctor said, no, can't do this. All right, 18 hours ago. I'm giving you a timeline. 18 hours ago. There's Don C. Good morning, Don C. What's up, buddy? He says, I finally got out of Q and we are finally in our new home here in Pattaya. If you're in town, come by for dinner. We also have our condo that's sitting empty. Good to hear from you, Don C. And I'm glad you are out of Q, man. 1 block off Beach Drive, downtown Pattaya. We have it paid through August. That's amazing. I'll definitely be hitting you up. Yes, we're glad to be out of suitcases and enjoying retirement. I bet you are, man. I bet you are. It's good to see you back in the chat too, Don. Glad you're here, man. Very glad you're here. Who else did I miss here? Griffin, good morning to you, sir. Let's see. Anon says that Philtho's paying too much attention to China. I don't think any of us are U.S. Embassy staff there, so we're saying, yes, we're glad to be out of suitcase and enjoying retirement. Don C says, yeah, big congrats to him, definitely. Ross, what's up, buddy? What DDY is it? I think that's supposed to be what day is it? Today is Thursday, I think. Philtho says that the kingdom now pursuing a new approach to the 70% jabs. Just let poverty and starvation reduce the population until 70% jabs was left. Hey, man, I'm getting there, okay? I'm getting there. Don C says, you know you're welcome to stay. Thank you so much, Don. I appreciate that. And yes, I do know you've welcomed me before and will welcome me again. I appreciate that very much. Cheap Charlie says, this is great news. Other countries are starting to open up too. Romania is wide open now. No queue, no test. Doesn't matter if vaxxed or not. Wow. I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. Now, in the midst of all that, there's Roy. It seems that Thai PM is putting the speech he made on TV as an honest objective and putting his reputation on the line. Well, I'm going to get to that in just a second. Let's see here. 6 schools in the northern province of Pitsanuk have been ordered to close until further notice after parents and a cable technician were determined to be infected. So they're closing schools in the north. It says, thus, the school's administrator made the decision to close school. Students were instructed to collect assignments from their teachers and do their school work at home. So basically, they've closed some schools up north. Now, the data breaches. Have you guys heard about the data breaches? America's wide open if you've been jabbed. That's true. Shaky says, good news, Triple C. Hope it's doing well. Chuck says, some Central South American countries as well. Anon says, yeah, we can't go there, Anon. I'm not going to go there. For those of you that don't know, there was a leak both in the vaccine registration site, where you could go on there and get anybody's telephone number, address, and passport number. And then there was Thai government apologizes for temporary data leak, blames temporary glitch. So basically what happened is this website where you go and you can schedule appointments at immigration, okay? And to do that, you have to give a lot of information, your passport number, your identification, your home. I believe you may have to give your social security number. I can't remember for sure. But the website was available for public information for people that were setting up appointments. Luckily for me, I didn't have an appointment set up. And that's a big deal. They said the MOF, I don't know what that is, says the developer was updating the system Monday afternoon to guarantee it can handle a great number of people registering. They say the glitch happened because the coding system was being reworked as the website was still running. Despite the assurances that the site has been fixed just recently today, login and vaccination booking through the site were not ready to use. Rather, users saw this message: as a full appointment for vaccination, we will be announcing the new round of appointments for vaccination at www.thailandintervac.com. We apologize for all inconvenience. That website was also one that was given or that was available for you to go in to see anybody's information. Thailand, 16 hours ago, does not approve Russia's jab. Okay, so they're not going to do Russia's jab here in Thailand. Now, let's get to the good stuff. The restaurants, 14 hours ago, started requesting relaxed measures and other things from the Thai government. And I'll read you that in just a second. I want to try to stay caught up here. Shaky says, I did hear about that. Jeremy was on the Tiger, I think. Yep. Tim, if you're jabbed, and HIPAA regulations prohibits anybody from talking about private medical information. That's true. Tim says, other than a hotel or a P.O. box, if you're just arriving in Thailand, how can you have an address? They use the address in Thailand as like the hotel that you're staying at. They would use that as an address or whatever. Filtho says, Tim, I had an address at Gettysburg. Alan says that, Tim, the COE application requires you to provide the address of your first stop after Q. Yeah, so that makes sense. Let's read this real quick, and then I'm going to get into the 120-day reopening. If you hadn't dropped a like yet, please do so, and I would greatly appreciate it. So, in a letter to the PM, the Thai Restaurant Association requested urgent relief for the nation's ailing food and beverage industry. There's alcohol bans everywhere, guys. Not literally covering the country, but in most of the important places, there are alcohol bans. And along with those alcohol bans, there are a lot of people not at those restaurants. Matt Tech says, I'm listening at gym. In fact, everyone is listening because I don't wear headphones. That's cool, man. The association released a statement about the letter that they submitted outlining a proposal for easing COVID-19 restrictions on restaurants and dining, as well as offering up financial assistance, ideas to keep businesses afloat, to ride out the remainder of this chaos. As acting director for the CCSA, the restaurant group urged PM Prayut to take immediate action on the two key fronts. They stressed the urgency of these measures as over the last 40 days, numerous restaurants went out of business and estimated 50,000 more food vendors will close in the next few months without relief. First, the association requested that the dining hours in Bangkok, Nonthaburi, Pathum Thani, and Samut Prakan can be extended to 11 p.m. with restaurants having to be fully closed by midnight. The group then suggested that all restaurants could increase permitted capacity by half the amount total seats in the establishment. So a restaurant with 100 seats could add an extra 50 seats to their illness safety dining capacity. They also further asked CCSA to grant 80% of total seats increase in capacity for those dining and businesses that had received the SHA certification, as the World Travel and Tourism Council recognizes this certificate for safety standards. More information on SHA coming up. Anna says a lot of people drinking coffee in 330 milliliter opaque coffee cups. Yeah. The restriction of alcohol sales for the safety of the illness have taken a massive bite out of many restaurant sales, as they are not allowed to offer an add-on beer or two with dinner, for example. The Thai Restaurant Association proposed that businesses with the highest level SHA measures in place should be allowed to sell alcohol, allowing customers about 2 hours each of seating time to eat and drink. They want income. They want to bring the restaurants back and the businesses back. Now, that was 14 hours ago. Okay, 10 hours ago. Here's your 120-day statement. This is from the Tiger. PM Prayut announces Thailand will fully reopen within 120 days. In a speech this evening, PM Prayut, I can never say his last name right, so I'm not going to try, announced that Thailand must reopen in 120 days, which would be October 14th, despite how slow the jab rollout and risk of increased outbreaks are. The speech seemed to mark a shift from trying to eradicate the illness in Thailand through controlling the spread and jabbing the population, to an acceptance of the virus's long-term presence and balancing the risks with the need to move forward. Let me see. There was a vlogger that said that should probably be the approach about a year ago, because it was going to be, who was that vlogger? Yeah, that was me. I don't care. That just came to my head. Let's see. Quote, we have to come to terms that talking about C-19, obviously, will continue to be around in the world and in Thailand for some time. Seems like I've heard that somewhere before. Oh, yeah, I said that. We cannot wait for a time when everyone is fully vaccinated with 2 shots to open the country, or for when the world is free of the virus. We must be ready to live with some risk and just try to keep it at a manageable level and let people go back to being able to earn a living. Were any of you around a year ago when I was saying all this? Anybody remember? Okay. PM Prayu lauded the process. In fact, I'm not bragging on myself, guys. This is more meant as a kind of a joking, funny back and forth here. I'm just saying yeah, cabinet position. I'm just saying I said these things a year ago. That's all. This was, kind of, this is why you hear the term Thai logic sometimes and you wonder what it means. This is this is what it means. I'm not criticizing the Thai government. I'm just saying, if you hear the term Thai logic, just think about what I've said in the past, think about what's happening now, and then you should be able to understand. There is a plan, Kevin, currently to give, I think it's 3,000 baht a month or 5,000 baht a month. It's one of the two, for people who qualify for Social Security. That means former workers that are on employees' logbooks. That does nothing for informal workers like people that work in nightlife or entertainment or musicians or bar workers or anything like that. They're out of the question. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure I'm not. But I just remember specifically saying some of these things. Tim says, well, look at it this way. Somebody's listening to you. It may take a minute, but they do hear you. Well, that's true. Shaky says, oh, it's funny because a lot of people have had the same mentality on reopening. Yes, that's true. And says, one thing, Thailand has a top-down government, so if General really directs it behind closed doors, then the governors will follow in line. I would agree with that statement, although I don't really want to talk about Thailand's government on here, but that's okay. I feel like that's a fair statement to make. PM Pray lauded the progress in. Okay, I will delete that comment. I was told to delete that comment. Sorry, Anon. PM Pray lauded this progress in vaccination procurement, manufacturing, and distributing to the population, highlighting the negotiations with 6 suppliers. I'm not going to go through all 6 of them. You know who they are. And the contracts for 105.5 million jabs scheduled to be received by the end of the year. He announced a plan to start jabbing 10 million people a month in July with the goal of 50 million people with at least 1 shot by October, and further plans to continually stockpile jabs next year. Interestingly, the Prime Minister only added vaccine shortages by saying that other countries have shown that manufacturers don't always meet delivery commitments, and Thailand will have to manage this eventually. Now, I've said before that this may not be Thailand's fault, the rollout. I've said that, and I mean that. It very well could have something to do with manufacturing. It could have something to do with the FDA approval. I would rather them come in with a much safer vax. I've told you guys, myself, I'm more worried about the jab than I am the illness personally, but that's just me. So I would rather them go through the safety checks and make sure that everything's safe and reliable as it comes in. That would be great. So again, not pointing fingers here. I'm just telling you, they're out, and it is what it is. After discussing the jabs, PM Prey dropped the biggest news. The country's struggle must be lessened by reopening the country fully within 120 days. He made a point to say that inconvenient restrictions and quarantine must be fully lifted for vaccinated international travelers, and Thai nationals should be able to travel domestically and return home from abroad anytime without the queue. That's big news. I mean, that's big news. Hey, look who we have in the house. There is Mr. Jim Pell. I have we've all been looking for you, Jim, and we've all been wishing you well and been sending you our best wishes. Glad to see you back. And Jim has a challenge out. He says, get 4 people to contribute 25 and I will throw in another 25. Let's do this, boys and girls. Jim's back full speed ahead. That would be great. So PayPal link is at the top of the description, and if anybody wants to throw up Cash App, you can do that too. Jim, appreciate you coming back full speed, man, and glad to hear your ticker is ticking again without a problem. That is very good news. I look forward to speaking with you after the live stream. So let's see if anybody meets your challenge, Jim. Anon says, I still say 2023, sorry, but I'm cynical. That's okay. Yes, good to see Jim back. Philtho says the U.S. has rejected some V batches for contamination. Is Thailand testing these batches they get from abroad, or are they just accepting them and using them on faith? To the best of my knowledge, they are testing each batch. That is what's being told to the media. Again, whether that's actually happening or not, I don't know. I have no idea. But that's what's being told to the media. Good question, Philtos. TT's in the house and says hello to Jim. Mr. Double C, glad to hear that, Jim. Yes, we're all glad. We're glad to see you back, bud. Definitely glad to see you back. That tag is my Cash App tag, in case you guys are wondering what he's putting up there. Thank you, Jim. We'll see if we can get the $25 contributions. Ross says, here in Rayong, I can now get jab, even get choice of AZ or Sino. They have taken a large empty store at mall as the jab shop. Just need to make appointment. Very interesting. Me personally, I'm going to try to wait on the Pfizer or the mod. Jim says, by the way, challenges from 9:30 to 9:45 my time. So from now until 45 past the hour. So there you go. Let's see if we can get some contributions in here, says Jim. Now, the PM pointed to the Phuket Sandbox model as the first step and said the approval will be fast-tracked to be decided by the cabinet next week. He believes that there will be tourists coming as countries worldwide relax travel restrictions. The PM conceded that an increase in infections is expected to be inevitable when the borders reopen regardless of precautions, but he believes the risk is worth the need for restarting the economy and letting people get back to work. Well, that's good. He commented that protecting lives in Thailand is not just fighting the virus, but also dealing with the financial hardship created by it. And I would agree. Okay, Jim extended the challenge to 9:50, so until 50 past the hour. And he said, what? What did he say? Again, up here. What was Jim? 25. How much was it, Jim? 25? Let's see. Where's Jim? Okay. 4 people to contribute $25, and I will throw in another 25. That would be awesome, man. That would be awesome. So, anybody want to jump on that, feel free. Go ahead. If you're a channel member and saw my video yesterday, then you probably know why I'm encouraging the go ahead. Hello Helix says, good call. I had the PFI magic shot and there were no side effects for me. I'm in my early 30s. Awesome. That's the shot that I plan to get when it gets here, unless they force me to get a different one, because I do have underlying health conditions and I feel the safest with that particular brand. And I says, hopefully, that, again, I'm not I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is not financial advice. This is not any kind of advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And I says, hopefully he overrules the silly ankle bracelet requirements they're talking about. Yes, I know there are wrist bracelets, but we can talk about that probably over the weekend as well. Ross says, I laughed when I read the same article as if by magic, if Thailand were open in 120 days, tourists would flood in instantly. Couldn't agree more, Ross. Couldn't agree more. They've changed it so many times. It is what it is. People. I think some international tourists and foreign tourists that are not diehard expat people in Thailand that need to get back to Thailand. I think that the general tourism industry, the world, has seen Thailand change its mind so much that they've lost a little confidence in whether or not they can actually book a flight and expect to come. I mean, this is a huge, huge announcement. That hasn't been, it's not been published in the Royal Gazette yet, so who knows, right? Jim says, get $100 any way you can. Okay. I thought Robert just had the link in the cash tag up, but I guess he pulled it down. And I says, J&J have more problems, and I'm almost 60. Or have me no problems, and I'm almost 60. Okay, that's cool. Tim says, okay, question for everybody. If Thailand opens, say, tomorrow, 0 restrictions, how long would it take to return back to pre-P conditions? Probably a good 2 to 3 years, I would say, Tim, honestly. Yes, we are glad, very, very glad, very, very, very glad Jim is back. And always happy to see him in a live stream. Very glad you're back, Jim. All right, let's continue reading. Now, here's where. So, I'm reading what he said, okay? Is it open for 30-day visa with U.S. passport? William, I do not have that answer at this time. There will be more, I'm sure today will be more information, and there will continue to be more information coming throughout the week. And until it's published in the Royal Gazette, don't hold your breath. That's my actual suggestion to people. Yes, Jim, you missed dances. You sure did. And I'm sorry you were going to miss them. But I'm glad that you're feeling better. Very glad. Yes, I said years, Tim. Years. It will take years for Thailand's tourism industry, the restaurants, the businesses, the nightlife, the entertainment, for all that to come back to full circle. It'll take years. That's why I still stand by my video that says wait before you make your plans to come to Thailand. Because as bad as people want to get here, I would rather them come later and be surprised at just how good it is than to be disappointed by coming earlier and having to get having to get just the refunds on things, or trying to get refunds on things. Tim says, well, it sounds like now is the time to retire there. Sure. Now would be a good time to retire, but take into account all the insurances you're going to have to retire here now. In fact, on the OA visa, you now have to have a specific type of insurance. Felto says that's a good question. When will they begin issuing automatic tourist visa exemptions again? That is a good question. And to the best of my knowledge, the automatic exemptions on the visas are currently not being used. They did have a 45-day. You could get a 45-day stamp at one time. I'm not sure if that's still the case or not. Details. You have to understand. Details around this are vague. Very, very vague. Very vague at this point. When we have the weekend live stream Saturday and Sunday, we'll go back into more of there'll be more details for me to go over, and I can kind of guide you guys through some of that stuff. Jim says when something like this happens to an area, it's never the same when they try to make a comeback. Yeah, it's always a little bit different. I agree. Rob P says, might it soon be a good time to scoop up a bar? Now is definitely the time to scoop up a bar. If you want to own a bar somewhere, now's the time to get it because the prices are incredibly cheap. Ross says, I have some suggestions to increase tourism. 1, weaken the exchange rate. That would work. 2, offer 90-day visa on arrival. That would be great. 3, get rid of 2-tier pricing at national parks. Anyone else have suggestions? I like that. Like all 3 of those, to be honest with you. Anna says, Tim, 2023 to return anywhere near normal activity, a couple of years until it gets fully crowded. So the best time to travel without a crowd is now. Agreed, Anon, 100%. Now, the PM said that overall, Thailand has been one of the safest countries in the world regarding the illness. And by preventing overcrowding in hospitals, countless C-19 related lives were saved by being able to receive medical care. PM Pro said that C-19 will remain part of life like any other disease humans cope with. I literally said that a year ago. And we must learn to live with it and move on. I literally said that a year ago. Getting Thai life back to as close to normal as quickly as possible, he set the priority of giving everyone at least 1 jab immediately, citing studies that even just 1 shot increases your body's defense against the illness. Let's see. Anna says, Ross around, have a discount card for Walking Street. Buy 6, get 1 free. Don't answer that, anybody. That's a bad question, Ross. He then highlighted the right decision Thailand made in manufacturing jabs domestically so they can be produced continually for years to come if needed. He pointed to Singapore and Taiwan having problems with not always receiving the jabs they order from abroad, though he failed to mention that Taiwan's holdup was due to Thailand's AZ jabs being delayed. The PM closed the speech with words of appreciation and encouragement to the public health workers, local health volunteers, and others who have worked tirelessly to cope with the C-19. He acknowledged the challenges in an evolving situation and asked for understanding for the inevitable mistakes or inconveniences along the way. Quote, ensuring the rollout of such a massive nationwide program of vaccinations within only a few months is a truly historic mission that is unprecedented. Well, they have to do it first before it's unprecedented. Let's see. Charles, good morning, sir. Good morning. Sorry late. Just had to change the brakes on daughter's car. Just finished. No worries, man. No worries. We went an hour early started this morning because I know it's a work night for most of you guys. Ross says rent 6, get 1 free. I like that. Hilo, where can I get my punch card? Filtho says, Ross, subsidize airline fares for visitors staying 60 days or longer. I like that. Crack down on tourist scams. I really like that. Particularly those by officials finding contraband and luggage they put there. Really like that. Haven't seen that so much in Thailand. I saw that a lot in the Philippines. I read a little bit about it here, but saw more of that in the Philippines than I did here in Thailand. But still, cracking down on it would be great. And it says aerobic lessons at Raw. Oh, Lord, here we go. I tried, but she's 26 and spoiled, says Charles. Jim says, where the hell is the ding dings? I don't know, brother. I don't know. Jim put out a challenge for four $25 either PayPal or Cash Apps, and he would match with a $25 PayPal or Cash App, just to let you guys know. Filto says raw, and he put a time limit on it. There's 5 minutes left in that challenge. Filto says Ross requiring LBs to wear a sign. Yeah, that's fair enough. My never-ending journey, but that could change too. Opening, yes, could. TT says, Jeremy, I haven't had an oil change in 2 years. I need one. Come to Thailand. I'm sure you can find one. Jim says 6 minutes to go and no ding dings making me feel like I lost my touch. I don't think you lost your touch, Jim. We just don't have anybody contributing right now. We had a really big day. Not this past Saturday, but the last Saturday. A lot of people gave a lot of contributions, but actually we set our all-time record for the channel. So I'm not expecting much out of people, to be honest with you. If they contribute, that's great. If they don't, no problem. If they do, I'll let you know. Rob P says, would you rather have dengue fever or dengue is really bad, but nothing to see here? Me personally, I'm going to take down your comment, Rob, just for safety, for YouTube. But me personally, I would rather have what's going around right now, to be honest with you, because I've seen what dengue does. Charles says, what's the question? The question. What question? I'm not sure. We were talking about suggestions for picking up tourism quickly. If you hadn't hit the thumbs up button, you can do that. Hitting the thumbs up button is free, by the way. Tim says, Jeremy, question: If you saw a buddy falling for a scheme you know was a scheme, would you tell that buddy or just let them learn? No, I would definitely tell them. If you're a friend of mine, I don't want you to get hurt. So I would tell you now. By me saying that, I would say I would say that, and then of course leave them to their own actions, let them do whatever they want to do, because sometimes people have to learn the hard way. Jim says we need a good night tonight. Yes, we do, Jim. We definitely do, and I hope people come in with some contributions. But if they don't, there is no hard feelings anywhere. Definitely not for me. Because I understand completely. It's no worries. Sorry, guys. I was trying to get back to my emails here, and I need to look at one thing real quick. Okay. So let's see. Now, let me go back to where I was. All right. I have a big announcement coming up, guys. David says, hi, JC. The septuagenarian just popped in to say hi before I hit the sack. All right, David, good to see you, bud. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. Ross says, Tim, I would tell the buddy, but the buddy would also have to listen and change their mind. And I says, who's on first? Jim Pell says, come on, guys, I will extend till 10 p.m. Okay, so Jim's going until the top of the hour now with the PayPal challenge. PayPal link's at the top. Filto says, hit the sack, didn't know you were married. Was she not? Ross says, what's on second? I don't know is on third. That joke is almost 75 years old and still funny. Oops, I screwed up the punchline. I hear you. Craig Lee, what's up, my friend? One of the strongest men I know right there. And Mr. Craig Lee says, hey, brother, still on the right side of the dirt? Yes, sir. Both of us. And that's a good thing. Very good thing. And very good thing for you as well. So keep your fight up, and love you and appreciate you, man. Jim says, I've been out for 3 weeks. Come on, guys. You're making me feel worthless. Make me pay, he says. David says, someone who is over 70 years old. Yeah, I haven't. The septuagenarian. Is that right? Someone who is over 70 years old. That's awesome. I love that. That's a good deal, David. Tim says, Jeremy, by the way, thank you so very much for making me a friend of yours on Facebook. Made my day when I saw that. You are very welcome, Mr. Tim. No problem at all. Ross says, David, it's so much easier to say old. It is. Now, after the announcements, here's another big announcement for you guys. After the announcement came out about the 120 days, the health department has given a warning. Health department says, avoid C-19. Don't have sex. This is a real article. You guys see that? Really? That's what they say. I'm not going to go into the details of this article. I read it this morning and I giggled a little bit. Basically, it says if you are awaiting a test result or having activity with strangers, then you're putting yourself and everybody else at risk, and you don't know who has the virus and who doesn't, and all that good stuff. So, we're that's the latest. That's the latest urging from the health department. I would say. Jim, I do find it funny that nobody has picked up any of your challenge. So I'm going to check PayPal real quick just to make sure. But no, nobody's picked up your challenge. So, which is not a problem. Let me clear out a few things here, and then I can talk to you guys. So in 120 days, theoretically, everything's supposed to be open and everything's supposed to be ready to go by October the 14th. I don't even think some of the businesses that have been sold off or that are up for sale will be bought and be able to reopen in 120 days. Like specifically the nightlife venues or entertainment stuff that I don't see it happening. But what do I know, right? I'm just a guy that's lived here for 3 years. I don't know very much. Let's see. Craig Lee says, Jim says, Craig Lee, good to see you on here. Yes, it is. Ross says, are you sure they are talking about C and not something else? Well, it says C, but, they may be talking about something else as well. It is a good practice to practice safety when you're having activities of those sorts here in Thailand, because there is a lot of those activities that are had here, for sure. Let's see. Anon says, I saw that earlier. The guy that's in the U.S. for a while was wear a mask while engaged. Oh my God, that doesn't even make sense. Shaky says, I am vaccinated. Bring on Thai ladies. I hear you. Greg says, Canada said to use, we can't say that, Greg. We definitely can't say that. Golden Fang says, good morning, buddy. I'm flying to Amsterdam for a new job offered this Sunday, the 20th of June. After 2 years in Thailand, it's a good time for me to leave. Stay safe and hasta la vista. I have to say, Golden Fangs, that you have a very good point. A very good point. There's nothing wrong with leaving Thailand right now, especially in the condition she's in. We have a new update from the Tiger. If I can get it to pull up here, I'll read it to you. Rob P, thank you for the super chat, sir. Appreciate that very, very much. where I think we can leave that up. I hope so anyway. But thank you very much for that comment. Craig, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Much appreciated, sir. I really appreciate the super chat, guys. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Where I just that I know you're saying that as a joke, Rob, but I don't understand why that was ever even a recommendation. That makes you're going to be exchanging if you're going to be exchanging bodily fluids. I don't see the purpose of mask. Greg says, okay, fine. Canada said that they may be a run on 3 hole saws at hardware stores. Fair enough. Ross says, should wear earplugs for booms, protect those eardrums. Yeah, I hear you, Ross. I'm still trying to pull this latest article up from the Tiger that just came in, and it won't pull up. It was from the CCSA, so let's see here. Let's close the app and reopen and retry and see what happens. Come on, man. Why won't you pull up, man? All right, we'll try to pull it up just a second. Jim says, the reason I say PayPal and Cash App only for the challenge is because Super Chat holds 30%, PayPal only holds 3%, Cash App holds 0%. That's also true. That's true. Come on, guys. 4 minutes to go. So Jim put out a challenge that said we needed to get $100 any way we could. And he would match that with $25. Then he said PayPal and Cash App only, I think. But it's okay, guys. I appreciate the super chats. PayPal, Cash App, whatever. If you can get it, fine. If not, no worries. Jim says, okay, guys, if you will give at least one contribution of $25, I will extend it for another 15 minutes. Fair enough. $25 contribution. Jim extends his challenge for another 15 minutes. So, Jim's trying to help out the channel, and you guys are doing great. Solo Road, $2. Where are you from? I'm from Kentucky. Chicago since 06. I am from Albemarle, North Carolina, which is about 40 miles northeast of Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's where I am originally from, born and raised. And I lived in Charlotte for about, 6 years, right before I came over here. So, yeah, had a pretty good time. Are you a NASCAR fan? Of course. I grew up in NASCAR country. Regular Joe Travels, what's up, brother? Can't wait to come to Thailand. Just now saw you go live in Mexico, waiting to be where you are. Regular Joe, I'm excited for you to come to Thailand. Excited for you to come and see all the beauty Thailand has to offer. Me personally, I'm thinking about going to Mexico. Nino, good evening, all from Southern California. Good evening, Nino. Good to see you. Jim says, Solo Road, I was born in Chicago's in 65, grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, been in Tampa, Florida since 2001. Ross says, JC, did you grow up watching Georgia Championship Wrestling? I did not. There was a bunch of people that were wrestling fans in my family, WWE, whatever it is, fans, not me. He says, come on, brother, I'm in Merida, Mexico now. I haven't heard of that place. That's awesome. I've heard of a lot of good places in Mexico to go and visit that are cheap and reliable. How's the healthcare in Mexico? Does anybody know about healthcare in Mexico? Charles said, I'm still trying to figure out how my girlfriend got C 2 days before I left, and I didn't get it. C don't love me. I'm too hot for it. Hey, man, if you didn't get it, you didn't get it. You know what I mean? It's probably a good thing. It's a very good thing. So, it is what it is, brother. Good evening from California. Didn't the governor ban evenings in California? That's funny as hell, Philthos. That's really, really funny. That's beyond funny, actually, to be honest with you. So 120 days to Thailand fully reopens. I've tried to avoid predictions and things like that on this channel just because they usually leave people ending up in I don't know, making people look not very smart, right? So therefore, I'm not going to really predict anything. I'm just going to suggest that I don't see a full reopening without restrictions happening in 120 days. I just don't see it. It very well could. I hope that foreign tourism comes back to Thailand. I hope that foreign tourism comes back to Thailand sooner rather than later. Hey, Jim, somebody met your, he says, extension money. And that is from Mr. Charles White. Charles White says extension money to extend the time. Very good, Mr. White. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. There is 25 of 100 that we are looking for, and then Jim will have to pay. Very interesting. Thank you very much, Mr. White. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see here. Jim says, come on, guys, contribution real quick, and I will send it for another 15 minutes. There you go. So that's why Charles sent that in. Thank you very much again, Mr. White. I appreciate that. Greg says, lots of dentists and various skill levels in Mexico. Cool. Nino says he opened the state as of today. Wow. That's amazing, really. I know you're talking about California. That really is news to hear. Solar Road says, I've been to Mexico City a few times, like it. Probably wouldn't want to live there. Pharmacies are way cheaper than America. Can't speak about hospitals and general health care, though. Fair enough. All the information I can get is better than no information at all. So thank you, Solar Road. Greg says, California canceled C-19 as of yesterday. Everything is now open. I love that. Our governor doesn't want to get kicked out of office. Your governor is bound to get kicked out of office. Well, he may not get kicked out of office, but he certainly won't get reelected. Craig says, full moon party on Phuket 2021. Loved it. That would be awesome to see. Regular Joe Travel says, Merida is the second safest city in all of the Americas. Second only to Quebec, Canada. You'd love it here, I'm sure. I'm doing vlogs on it now. I'll have some out soon. Awesome. I will most definitely check that out. Gotta have a little sugar rush, guys. I literally rolled out of bed this morning. I made a thumbnail for this live stream and decided to get on with it. Gregory, what is up, my man? He says, just on a break and noticed this was live, so thought I would drop in and say hello. Hello to you, sir. And hope you saw the video from yesterday. I think you did. I think you commented. Oh, we have another super chat. Craig Lee, $20. Wow. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Very, very good super chat day we're having today. Thank you very much, Craig. I really appreciate that, brother. You keep digging and take care of yourself, first and foremost, sir. Jim says, for every $25 we get via PayPal or Cash App, we will continue to extend for 15 minutes until the challenge is met. So we'll see if we get another 25. I don't know. 75 to go, he says. Kudos, Charles White says Solo Road. I agree. Rob P says Mexico has great health care. That's good to know. Very good to know. Jim says, come on, guys. It makes JC feel warm and fuzzy when he gets to say pay up, Jim. Yes, it does. Rob P says, doing 6 weeks in Costa Rica this summer. That sounds like fun. Every 25 extends 15 minutes. Make me pay, says Jim. Craig Lee says, love your way. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Glad you're able to join in on the live stream. Don't see you very often, but keep up with you on Facebook, as you know. Jim has a website, helpingothersrightnow.com, where he does some charity work in Tampa, Florida. Be sure to check that out. That would be great. Back to the foreign tourism here in 2021 in Thailand. I wonder if they're going to drop the certificate of entry too. I wonder if they're going to drop those requirements. Probably not, because that's where you would have to signify that you have been jabbed and that you've had the test 72 hours prior and all of that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what that means for international foreign travel here in Thailand. I simply don't know. Let's see. We have a tweet here from a very reliable source that just gave some information. It says, for the Phuket reopening, only vaccinated people coming from low, which are in green, and medium, which are in yellow, risk countries will be considered for a certificate of entry. The list will be updated every 2 weeks. This is from June 1. We're expecting another update later today. This is from Richard Barrow. You guys can follow him on Twitter if you want to. Countries in the green. Let's see. We have Australia, Singapore, New Zealand, Brunei, Dominica, Israel, Mako, Malta, Monaco, San Marino, Iceland, that was a $5 PayPal. Hang on a second, guys. Let me get my screen back open. I hit the wrong button and my phone's turned sideways. I don't see the US on there. Let's see here. Sent you $5. Been treating Nichols like manhole covers lately, but gotta do something to celebrate Jim's return. Okay, so this is from a guy in the chat. He says he's been treating Nichols like manhole covers lately, but got to do something to celebrate Jim's return. So he sent $5. I'm not going to put his real name up there, but $5 just trying to help out. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that. I want to see if the U.S. Where the U.S. ranks on this. Monaco, Vietnam, Cyprus. I don't see the U.S. in the green. In the brown. It is in the brown, though. So I guess that's a good thing. I'm not 100% sure. You guys can check this out. Probably on a Thai embassy website somewhere, I would imagine. And that will give you all the information that you would likely need. So feel free to check that out at any point in time. Now, let's go back over here. What we got? And it says on the current certificate of entry form, jab or swab data is not requested. Oh, interesting. Charles White says it would be nice if the COE was combined with the visa application. I bet that would make things a lot easier for you guys that are traveling. Regular Joe Travel says cost me $2 to $3.50 USD to get a 25-minute Uber from the center of the city of Costco. Healthcare is amazing here. A house to rent is approximately $250 for a basic house. Nice ones are probably $450 to $650. That's really cheap. Progreso Beach is 20 to 30 minutes away, 3 to 4 hours from Cancun. Oh, you're on that side of Mexico. That's interesting. Yeah, thanks for the information there, Regular Joe Travels. I appreciate that. Anon says, Charles White, I think the COR makes sure, I think he meant COE, make sure you have a queue reservation. Yeah, COE. So make sure you have a queue reservation. Fair enough. He says, at Anon, that and flight was what I had to provide. Cool, man. Regular Joe Travel says, I missed the first part of your video, riding in a $2 Uber. Will Thailand require vaccine certification? I'm not ready for that. Yeah, they're going to require some type of certification for the jabs. They're going to, some kind of jab that they're going to require it. I don't know exactly how they do it. I know it's done through an embassy. Well, let me take that back. I don't know that it's done through an embassy. I know that it's done somehow, maybe Anon or one of the people that have come to Thailand that have been jabbed can answer that question for you. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't left Thailand in 3 years, so I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, Regular Joe. I apologize for not knowing the answer, but you'll find quickly on this channel. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you I don't know. I don't speculate and I don't guess very often. The only time I speculate about things is if we have reason. If we have, based on past facts or something like that, then I would potentially speculate on it. He says, let me know when you're ready to come to Mexico. I'll share my contacts. I appreciate that, Regular Joe. Could be sooner rather than later. Could be later rather than sooner. Really depends on the work situation here in Thailand. If you're a channel member, you got to see my video yesterday. It is what it is. And if you're not a channel member, I encourage you to be a channel member. Then you can see the video from yesterday and you know exactly where I stand on everything. Regular Joe says, that's right. I've been watching you for a long time under my personal name. You're a straight shooter. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. Anon says, Regular Joe Travels jab certification only is pertinent to the Sandbox, otherwise doesn't apply. Very interesting. Jim is still shooting for the guys another extension contribution. Yes, so you need another 25 for, well, actually you only need another 20 right now because we had a $5 PayPal. So we need another $20 PayPal or Cash App to extend for 15 minutes. Fair enough. Filtho says, if you return to the U.S., will you post a tutorial video on how to make cornbread? What foods will you gore yourself on that you've been missing? I absolutely will do that. Absolutely will do that. 100%. Jim says 20. Okay, cool. Gotta love Thailand. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Jim says 2 minutes to get $20. 2 minutes to get $20 to extend his challenge that he has put out. So we'll look and see if that happens. Maybe it will. I don't know. Hope so, but like I said, no big deal. What else we got going on, guys? Definitely want to check. I want to check out Mexico. Anon says, if you're not doing Sandbox, then you're doing Q with or without jab. That makes sense, and I'm glad you are clarifying that for us all, Anon. So the thing is, if you are coming to, so this is the way I understand it, and you correct me if I'm wrong. If you're coming for the Sandbox model, then you have to provide proof of full inoculation, right? 2 jabs or 1 jab if that's the one you take. If you're coming to any other place in Thailand, you're going to have to do a 14-day queue anyway, as of right now. You're going to have to do a 14-day queue anyway. So it wouldn't matter if you had the jab or not, because they're going to make you stay in queue for 14 days. That makes perfect sense. Let's see here. All right. Gregory's comment was hidden, and I'll give a little overview there. Basically says in Australia he can print out an official history regarding the jab, and he can have so it's on record there in Australia, and he can have the document ready in case he needs it. That's good. Gregory says, yes, started watching the members only video, but need to finish watching it. It's okay. Filter says 2 minutes to get $20. That's what she said on Beach Road. Funny. Okay, Anon says exactly, Jeremy. Good. I'm glad I understand that. I'm glad I understand that completely at this point. As that changes and as you guys start to come over, you guys keep me informed as to how these things change. So again, according to the PM and his announcement yesterday, we're going to see a fully reopened Thailand for foreign tourism in 120 days. That means October the 14th, 2021. 2021. Sorry. When everybody can come in that is jabbed and face no queue and virtually no restrictions. I believe the term used was removing all the restrictions, but I believe the Thai economy has gotten to such a low point now. There's so many people going hungry. There's so many businesses that are closed and so many people that can't work, including myself at the moment. That it's taken such an economic impact. There have been major calls for major members of Thai government to resign, and it looks like the Thai government is responding by listening to the people. So we hope that's a good thing. We hope. I'm not saying the government's wrong. I'm saying that I hope by them listening to the people that it works out that way. Jim says, guys, we are a little tight tonight. It looks like I'm going to change the challenge a little bit. Give me 45 more in contributions. Give me 2 channel members, and I will pay up. 45 in contributions and 2 channel members. I wonder if anybody would join to be a channel member. That would be interesting. Jim says, you're making it really tough on me to pay money tonight. LOL. That's funny. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get the 2 articles up from the Tiger that I wanted to read. Anon says, for everybody, though, jab certification is important. Agent thinking about travel between provinces to help avoid queue then. You have a very good point. My good friend went back to their village yesterday and currently undergoing tests now to be negative and to see if they can go into their home village. Seems a little strange to me, but it is what it is. And you have a good point. However, the PM's announcement did come with an overall bearing of, it seems as though they're going to curb the international travel part. Not international. I'm sorry. The interprovincial travel here in Thailand as well. Wow, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Glad you are here, my friend. Haven't seen you since the last live stream. I'm glad you joined in, brother. Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. And I said, sorry, working on an iPad. Spell check is crazy on this device. I understand. All right, highlight here. TAT asked to make changes to Phuket Sandbox before submitting final approval. Uh-oh. The Tourism Authority of Thailand has been asked to make, this is breaking, this is right off the box right here. The Tourism Authority of Thailand has been asked to make some changes to the Phuket Sandbox scheme before submitting it to the CCSA. Somebody from the CCSA says the government's C-19 task force wants clarification on the safety measures aimed at controlling it when the plan is implemented from July 1. The subcommittee is concerned about the public understanding of the tourism program's C-19 safety measures, which may still worry many people as to what action will be taken in the event of new infections. So, the province has agreed to improve public understanding about its illness safety measures that will be implemented when the Phuket Tourism Sandbox program begins. According to the Bangkok Post, Apisamai says the sandbox model will also apply to other popular tourist islands later on, including places like Koh Samui, Phi Phi, and some of the popular Phang Nga Islands. The scheme will also launch in tourist provinces such as Krabi, Chonburi, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and others. From July 1, vaccinated foreign tourists can enter Phuket without quarantine. However, they must stay on the island for a minimum of 14 days in a government-approved hotel. An exception will be made for those coming for a shorter period, but they must depart Phuket on an international flight at the end of their stay. Tourists will also be required to show a negative test result within 72 hours of flying to Phuket, and will then be subject to further tests during their 14-day stay. Okay. That's you just heard the Thai PM say one thing, and then you hear the Tourism Authority of Thailand say something different about the sand. Maybe that just applies to the sandbox model only, and or maybe that applies up until October the 14th. Do you see the how things just don't kind of mesh? You don't really know. This is why the media has a lot of trouble covering these topics in Thailand. There's so many departments with so many different outcomes and regulations. You don't really know what they actually mean. Good morning, Robert Mack and Jay East. Good to see you guys. Glad you are here. Lyle says hello, everyone, including you, Jim Pale. I think I read that. Filtho says new Thai logic: crossing provincial borders may cause C. Charles White, I suspect they're concerned about hotspots spreading between provinces. Probably. Jim says, Lyle, hello, sir. Good to see you. I'm happy to be back. Been a rough 2 or 3 weeks, buddy. I know it has for you, Jim. And we're glad you're back also. Anna says, Filthos, actually, it makes sense. They don't want somebody from a high area like Bangkok to impact a low area like Nong Khai, like how this third ace started at Songkran time. That's a fair point. Robert Mack in the house saying hello to people. Jay East in the house. Lots of media chaos while stuff is happening. Absolutely, Jay. All right. So, before that came in, there was an article I told you that came in. Benny, hello to you. New rules every day. It seems that way. It does seem that way for sure. Finishing editing a video, says Robert Mack. Filtho says, I stand educated. I like that. So this is from the Thailand's public health minister, says, this is Mr. Anutin. I hope I said that right. Anutin. It says, we'll do better on vaccines. There's loads more on the way. Thailand's public health minister is pledged to do better on the jab rollout, saying many more doses are coming soon. Anutin said 600,000 doses of AZ arrived yesterday, with another 1 million arriving tomorrow. The Bangkok Post reports that yesterday he visited the jab center at Bang Sue Grand Station in the capital, where he met with some of the people who'd registered via the MoreProm app and then been turned away from hospitals due to jab shortages. Of those turned away, the health ministry sent 1,000 of the elderly and those with underlying health conditions for jabs at Bang Sue Station instead. He says all 1,000 were jabbed yesterday, adding that the ministry aims to help the BMA, which is the Bangkok Metropolitan Association, with its jab rollout. He denies any rift between the agencies. Quoting, it's about taking the load off Bangkok, the BMA. It's clear that we, the ministry and the BMA, are not at odds over the rollout. So he acknowledged a bunch of things and medical services. Basically says he also dismissed rumors about a large number of AZ doses was being sent to Buriram, which is his own constituency. He says, I know I'm being watched. If I had done something so foolish, it would have been political suicide. So he's saying more is on the way. And there's just too much information coming in from everywhere. Let's see. Anon says, even for dirty Franks? That's a good question. Very good question. Who knows, right? JE says it helps my psyche not to watch the news, LOL, and watch more YouTube. I hear you, bro. Same here. Lyle says 33 up and 3 down. Good numbers. Robert Mack says to Robert N, tomorrow afternoon. Thank you. Cool. I don't know if Jim has let his challenge expire or not. Jim had a challenge out there, a PayPal challenge out there. But we're about out of talking time here. I appreciate you guys that super chatted during this live stream, and I really hope you found the information useful for sure. I'm not going to shut it down right at this moment, but just kind of wanted to start wrapping it up, see if you guys have any last minute comments or questions, concerns that I may or may not be able to help you with. Depending on what kind of news comes out. Now, keep this in mind. Over the next few days, there are going to be a lot of information that comes out. So, Friday night on the East Coast, Saturday morning here, we'll have a regular live stream, and we will cover everything that's come out between now and then. And then Sunday, we'll get there. Jay says, thanks, Jim. Appreciate you, bud. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, Jay. Very much. Thanks to all you guys for being in here. Hey, look who joined in. They're stuck in Florida. Good to see you, bro. Good morning, JC. Could you repeat the last hour? No, I can't. But you can certainly go back and watch the replay if you would like. Stuck in Florida. It's good to see you, brother. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate that. We have Jim Pale back in the house with us, which is a good thing. Anon says 7 days and a wake up till on the plane. I know you are excited about coming back, Anon, and I do not blame you. I do not blame you at all. I don't blame you about being excited to come back. I don't blame anybody for being excited about coming back here, especially if you don't have to work. That's a big step I'm trying to take. Yeah. So Lyle says, what was the Jim Pale challenge? It was to get $100 any way we could, and he would match it with 25. He would match that with 25. So we wound up getting. Let me make sure I'm clear with you here, Mr. Lyle. We wound up getting $30 of that. $30 of that 100 is what we were looking for. And then Jim said, if we got the other 70, he would match that with 25. So I don't know what his plans is now. There's Jim. He says we need $45 more in contributions and 2 members. So he wants to see 2 channel members also, which I don't think is going to happen because we have most of the family in here, not a lot of new people. But you never know. Could happen. But that's the challenge, Lyle. Filtho says there were a lot of protests going on before, and just as the start of the P, have they continued, they'll resume after the P. I know you have to be vague if you can respond at all. Yeah, being very, very vague. Okay, Jim says, or just $75. Fair enough. There were a lot going on before the P, you're right. They subsided substantially because they arrested a lot of people and put a lot of pressure on different groups that were participating in those activities. I would imagine with the animosity around the country right now that you would probably see some of that resume. But that's about as much. You're right. I have to be vague. So that's about as much as I can say about that. Hopefully everything comes to a nice peaceful conclusion because you don't want tourism kicking off over here in 120 days just as and then those things start to happen again. We don't want those things to happen. So it is what it is. We'll see in the end. That's for sure. Jim says, oops, $70. Yep, we did get a $5 in there from a good friend of the channel. Let's say that. So Jim's challenge, just some final words on Jim's challenge before we all roll out of here. There was $70 to go, and then Jim would kick in another $25. All that was from PayPal. We talked about we're glad Jim's back healthy and safe, which is great news. And I'm very happy he's back and safe and feeling better. So that was the challenge. Basically, $70 left to go, and then he would kick it for you guys. And well, we're trying to get there. Mr. Lyle just sent $20. Thank you very much, Mr. Lyle. I appreciate that very, very much, sir. And as soon as the email comes through, I will show it to everybody. So thank you guys for your continued contribution and belief in the channel. There is $20 from Mr. Lyle, so we need 50 more to go, and we will meet Jim's challenge. Mr. Charles White says, good night, all. Charles, thank you for your contribution, sir, and have a great night. I know you guys are getting ready to go to bed over there on the East Coast, so I won't hold you guys up. Robert says, Thuckin Florida finally just sent the email. Oh, you guys must be talking about some other stuff going on. So it's all good. I am going to get, so at some point today, this mop on my head, all this stuff right here. Yeah, I got to go get a haircut. I just feel like it's time for me to get a haircut. So, probably going to go get a haircut at some point today, and make myself look a little bit better. For the rest of you guys, I hope that the information provided was beneficial. I appreciate all the thumbs up. And on your way out, don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you haven't already. That was not a PayPal. That's a tweet. But with that being said, guys, we got a weekend coming up here that's going to be full of information, because I'm going to have a lot more information on this October 14th deadline that the PM is set to fully reopen Thailand. Hopefully I'll have some good news about my job. Hopefully at some point. If not, we'll see what happens. And I'll try to keep you guys posted to the best of my ability on everything, including we need a channel members live stream at some point this month, and we're going to do that fairly soon. Maybe we'll try to squeeze that in this weekend as well. So, no worries stuck. I'm glad you got to drop by. I really appreciate it. And for those of you who contributed via Super Chat or PayPal, thank you very much for your contributions. I really, truly appreciate it. Thanks for help keeping the channel running and for keeping me going. Very much appreciate it, guys. I hope this news was beneficial. I hope it added some value to your travel plans. And if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer them. So with that being said, I love all you guys. Thank you for commenting. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to people who contributed. Thanks to Jim for starting a challenge. And we're glad you're back, Jim, and feeling better. You guys all take care. And October is 4 months away. Yes, it is, Lyle. Yes, it is. And a lot can be accomplished in 4 months. It's just, is that going to happen? We don't know. So, we're hoping for the best. I expect, well, there we go. So 25 more in PayPal from others helping others, which is Mr. Pale himself. Helping others right now. Helping others right now. 25. Jim went ahead and paid up anyway. Thank you, Jim. I very much appreciate that. I really do. I thank you for it. Definitely helps out. And there's Jim's website. You can go to his website, check out a variety of things. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon, bud. So, that being said, thanks again to everyone who contributed. Thanks again to my moderators. Thank you to everybody who made a comment. I appreciate you very much. And we will, let's see, Jim says, guys, you can send contributions. You don't have to be on the live to send them. PayPal accepts contribution 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's true. They do. Very true. But I hope you guys found some value in this content in this live stream, and that's what it's all about. So whatever you do today, be sure you do more life, and I will see you guys Saturday and Sunday for more live streams, more live stream action on Do More Life. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. Thank you, Jim, for reminding me of that. Everybody take care. Have a great day.